Hashtag Listen Fam, it's Kelly Hendricks, your host of The Theatre. And today I have Nkosinathi Yaso with me. He is a local designer and I am so excited to have you with me today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm also excited to be here.
Yes, now Nkosinathi, can you tell me about the start of your journey? How did you get into fashion design?
All right, so funny thing is, through my primary, high school, fashion design wasn't one of my career choices.
Yes.
I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
It was only up until, I think in grade 11, where we went on a career expo in high school. And then they were just giving us advices as to, when you choose a career path, make sure there's something that you're going to enjoy so that it doesn't feel like work. So I always knew how to draw. And people would always tell me, you should probably look into being a fashion designer.
Okay.
But only after that career expo, I was like, but do I really want to do law? Or should I maybe consider fashion design? And in grade 12, when I reached grade 12, I was certain that, okay, I'm going to study fashion design.
This is it.
So when I applied for varsity, I only applied for fashion design.
Okay, sure.
And then I applied at TUT and CUT, got accepted at TUT, but I didn't get accepted at RES. So my parents were like, when I matriculated, I was only 17. So my parents were like, there's no way you're going to stay in Joburg by your own in a flat.
Yes.
So luckily, then I got accepted at CUT and accepted me at RES and the varsity. So
Off to Bloom you went.
Off to Bloom I went 2009 and
Okay, so I remember, I think it was 2017, you made like a skirt for me. It was actually
a traditional skirt.
Yes, it was actually for one of my first emceeing gigs at church. So I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yes, I still remember the skirt.
Yes, so we've come a long way since then.
Yeah.
What were some of the initial challenges that you faced starting in the fashion industry, starting with your designs and also in your business?
Okay, so the challenges that I faced, number one is I didn't complete my fashion design. Now in 2011, I had to drop out and come back home because of financial constraints and stuff like that. But when I got home, I had to now decide, am I gonna feel sorry for myself and be a victim of circumstance, or am I going to use the knowledge that I had gained in the 2 years that I was studying fashion design? So the challenges that I face is that a lot of the things I had to teach myself now. I had to teach myself. And it was also me coming back home and proving to people that they can trust me. Because when you come to someone and you ask them to design for you for your wedding day or whatever event it may be, you really should trust this person that, you know what, this person's going to make me look good on my special day or whatever the occasion might be. So one of the challenges was me proving myself to people that I can do the work. And just getting the support from people. I think that was the main challenge, just getting the support from people.
I think that's probably something so critical in our society today, where people go to varsity and obviously financial constraints, it's a lot, So you have people who drop out, come back home and feel ashamed and feel demotivated. It's not a lot that you hear of people actually thriving. So what motivated you? What mental space did you find yourself to actually push through all of those things?
Because this is something that I'm really passionate about. And of course, I wanted to make money of it, but it's something that I'm really passionate about. I think more than anything, my passion pushed me to just persevere and, like I said, prove myself to people that, you know what, I can do this. So when I came back from varsity, I was working at the correctional service as a teacher. We were teaching inmates that can't read and write because just to get an income and stuff. But then one day I just decided that, you know what, I want to fully put my focus on my passion, which is fashion design. And I quit the job, and I think that was the best decision that I made for myself, because now I I had no backup plan.
Yeah.
I had to make this
You
work
had to
now.
make it
I had
work.
to make this work. So my passion for my craft is really what just
What
motivated
drove
me,
you?
even till this day
Yeah.
when things get tough. Because in any line of business, you have your good and your bad months. But
Yeah.
my passion for what I'm doing, it's really just what drives me and motivates me.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when we think of your brand, JNY, I hope I'm saying it right, JNY
Yes, Gen Y
Creations, yes.
Creations.
So obviously, building a brand, building a small business, it's no small feat. We are living in Kimberley. So what were some of the building blocks that you used to make sure that, this vision that you have actually comes to pass?
Okay, so I started off by what's this offering people to make them free clothing so that they can, like influential people, make them free clothing so that they're able to recommend me to other, because in my line of business, a huge part of it, it's word of mouth.
Yes,
I
yes.
need to make sure that I make you look good so that someone will ask you, oh, who made this
Yes,
for you? And you
yes,
say,
true.
no, Nkosinathi made it. You give them my number and they come. I also make them a dress, same thing. So a lot of it depends on word of mouth. So with me, it was just going out there, getting clients that I can dress to get exposure so that they can recommend people to me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And what are some of the key values that have guided you in building your business?
Kivil that have guided me in building my business. It's like I said, discipline, consistency,
Yes.
and just really working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit about the matric farewells before we started
Yes.
the official interview. So I know you do a lot of dresses for like matric. Take us through like when someone comes to you, take us through the creative process from the start to actually seeing that matriculant in that dress.
All right. So unfortunately, in in Kimberley, most of the time when clients come to you, they come with a picture already.
Okay.
So the starting point would be you showing me the picture that you have, and we use that as the inspo.
Yeah.
So I always tell people we're not going to copy and paste,
Yes, true.
because at the end of the day, I want to add my touch also.
Yeah.
Understand? I don't just want to copy someone else's work. So a client would come to me, show me the picture of whatever it is that they want as a design inspo, and then I would then sit down, discuss with them, ask them if there's any changes they want to add to the design, give them a price as to how much it's going to be, and then if we agree on the price, we take measurements. I always accompany my client to go buy the material,
Yes.
because I want it to be a personal thing where they also are involved,
Involved in that.
in choosing the material. Obviously, the reason why I accompany, because most people are not clued up as
Yes.
what fabrics they should take. So I'm going to give you my input, but I also want you to have an input as to the material that you chose. So my clients buy their own material, but I accompany them.
Yes.
So I would only charge to make the dress, just the labor. But then as a client, you would then choose the material. I would go with you to the fabric store, choose the materials, and then I get started. I normally have two fittings. First fitting, you'll come in. It is just for us to see if the dress still fits, if you've gained or lost any weight, or is there any changes you would want to make to the design. And then the second fitting would be your final fitting now, when you come and collect the dress, fit it on again, and then if you're happy, you take your dress.
So you've mentioned that obviously you add your specific touch, and we know that fashion comes with, we all have our unique styles. So what are some of the influences that you use when it comes to that personal touch?
So it's different with every design, because it will depend now on, like I said, most of the clients, they come with the picture that they show me. So I would have to look at the design that you've given me and see what can I add to this that's still gonna go with your design. Because when you're a fashion designer, you have to be, or just a creative, you have to be very versatile, where you are willing to try out new things. So there isn't a specific style or touch that I would say that I have that I use on every garment, because obviously it won't work for every
Yeah,
garment. So it
yeah.
all depends on, I'm guided by what it
By
is
the
that you showed me,
inspiration.
and then what the inspiration
Yeah.
is, and then I would see that, okay, what can I add to this, or what can we do to this? So
Yeah.
it is all dependent on
On that.
the inspo.
And then would you say your creative style has changed since you've began?
Definitely. There's a friend of mine who started off as a client in 2011. I made her matric dance dress, and the other day we were sitting down, and she was at my studio. She's like, "Yo, when I look at the stuff that you do now compared to the dress that you made," she says it makes my dress look like trash.
Oh, wow.
But at the time when I made her
That's,
the dress in
yes.
2011, she looked
That's
good.
obviously
She looked
what you
good.
did.
She was happy with the dress,
Yes.
but obviously as time, because fashion design, it evolves.
Yes,
It
it's a
evolves every
very,
time. So as time goes by, you also improve, and
that's true.
the more you practice, the better you get. So definitely, there's been a lot of improvement also in the way I do things, because of, I could have done this dress last year, and then next year when I do something similar to it, I'm like, okay, maybe I should change that. I see
Yeah.
my mistakes that I could have done better in this and this and this.
Yeah.
So
How would you say trends, things that change, it's evolving, it's moving, how would trends influence the work that you do?
like I said, fashion design always evolves,
Yes, it's,
so you always need to keep up with the trends.
yeah,
So I'm one, I would look at fashion shows on TV. I would, when there's award ceremonies, I would look at what people are wearing, so
yeah,
that I am clued up with the trends.
yeah,
Because if you are like, that's why I mentioned earlier that you need to be versatile. If you're going to be stuck that, no, I only design a certain way, then your business
yeah,
is gonna die down. You
yeah,
need to be able to move with the times.
sure.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned navigating in the fashion industry?
Sure, there's a lot. One of them is patience.
Yeah,
Because you're just working with people, you deal with people from different walks
true,
of life
true.
on a daily, and some clients can be really difficult, and you just need to really
Yeah,
have the
true.
patience. My friends always ask me, how do you deal with clients? And but one thing, it's you need to, I think more than anything for me, just being patient and understanding, and always just trying to meet my client halfway, and also
Yeah.
understand where they come from. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned fashion shows recently, and I know you've had a couple of fashion shows yourself,
Yes.
and you also do pageants. So tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that and where the drive for that came from.
So with my fashion shows, obviously it started with me wanting to promote my work.
Yeah.
And then I entered, when I started my fashion design, I think in 2012, there was a fashion competition that was happening in Kimberley, and then I entered that. And then after that, I took a very long break from entering fashion shows up until 2021? It's
Sure.
2021 during COVID.
Yes.
Sorry, and then there was the South Africa organization. They were having a fashion show called Destiny Design,
Yes. Yes. I
and I
remember.
decided
I
to just
remember
take a
that.
leap of faith, and I
Yes.
entered it. And then they were looking for, I think, 10 designers in South Africa that will take part in the fashion show. And I just took a leap of faith, and I entered the show, the fashion show.
Yes.
And then after a couple of weeks, I got a call that, no, I've been selected as one of
Sure.
the fashion designers. And then fast forward, went to Johannesburg, and just being there, interacting with different fashion designers, it brought back that fire in me again of wanting to showcase my work
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
stage again, and unlike just the regular client coming in, you design for them. It just ignited something in me again that, it's so nice just seeing your work on stage and seeing other people appreciating your work on stage. And then in that same year, There was also a fashion show that was happening in Ethiopia. I also decided, okay, let me enter for this fashion show.
Yeah.
Then I was chosen to go and present South Africa in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa. It was called the Africa Fashion Reception. And from there, there was a lady who was organizing a fashion show the following year in Congo. So she saw my work and she was really impressed. And then the following year, I got an opportunity again to travel to Congo, where I also showcased my work. And then after that, I then started, no, actually, from my fashion show in Ethiopia, I then decided that because of I did not have my South African supporters and audience there. I then decided to start my annual fashion show, which is called A Night with JNY Creations, which I was showcasing the work that I had showcased that side. I was bringing it home now.
Sure.
And then from there, every year I've been having my annual fashion show, which is called A Night with JNY Creations.
That's awesome.
Then as to pageantry, I was invited to Mafikeng a couple of years ago to dress the contestants for the pageant. And while sitting in the crowd, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, but when last did we have pageants in Kimberley? It's been a while since pageantry has been happening in Kimberley. And then in 2015, that's when I decided to start Mr. and Miss Kimberley.
Okay, yeah.
And from Mr. and Miss Kimberley Teen was born, and then from Miss Kimberley Teen, Miss Kimberley Plus Size was also born, and then I got approached by Miss Heritage South Africa. They were looking for a pageant director for the Northern Cape, and that's where Miss Heritage Northern Cape started.
Sure. So would you say the pageant industry, especially in Kimberley, is quite big?
It is growing now. It could, of course, there's a lot of room for improvement for it to grow bigger. But I think what also is lacking is the support that we getting, especially from government when it comes to pageantry. I don't think they really take it that seriously. Compared to other provinces, when I look at them, they do get a lot of support from the government when it comes to pageantry. So it's not as big as it could be. So I think there's definitely still a lot.
I might put you on the spot, but I have a burning question, right? So I am a pageant follower.
Okay.
I'm not a pageant girly, but I'm a pageant follower. And I've noticed over the years that our girls don't really do well in your pageants like Miss South Africa. You know, why would you say that is?
When you say our girls,
I mean like Northern Cape.
Northern Cape.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Maybe I think it's just a matter of them not being well prepared at the time when they enter, because I think every pageant, they have their own structure as to what it is they are looking for in their queen that's going to win.
Yes.
They have their specific requirements and stuff. So I think maybe most of the time it's just a thing of them not really being prepared, and also them not having a lot of opportunities back home to have entered, because it helps having, I always say, like your Mr. and Miss Kimberley, for me, it's like a stepping stone just for you to prepare yourself for
something bigger.
Pageants.
That's
so that
true,
when you get to the bigger pageants, you have a bit of knowledge as to what is expected of you. Obviously, it's a totally different pageant. It's bigger. My South Africa, it's bigger. But it just helps having a bit of experience in pageantry. So I think it's really just them maybe not being prepared enough, and them also not being exposed to a lot of pageants.
Yes, no, I know, I completely get you. I always look for, you know, the ladies from the Northern Cape, and I'd really love to see a future Miss South Africa come from the Northern Cape,
really
you know.
Be nice.
Yeah, I don't think we've had one, or it has been a long time coming. But back to JNY Creations, what do you say the future holds for your studio?
I would really like to see myself having a store in the mall, having branches in different provinces with the JNY Creation brand, having online stores where I sell JNY Creations clothing, where people from all over the world, where we can be able to just ship ready-made. I want to move away from the regular just waiting for clients to come to me and then designing for them. I want to also move more into the ready-made ready-made way, you know, because I do get sometimes people be like, they get an invitation maybe last minute and they're like, don't you have anything for rental or anything I can buy that I don't have? Because how I work is always client coming to me. I design specifically when a client comes to me. So I would really like to grow the brand into to a point where we have ready-made clothing, where people can walk into a store and be able to buy one of our garments.
Like you say now, obviously leading a brand, it requires both creativity as well as business acumen. How would you say you've had to balance the two throughout your journey?
Sure, that's a difficult one, but the two they work hand in hand. So luckily for me, I come from a family that's very business orientated. So my grandfather was into business. My dad was also into business. So from a young age, my dad used to have a bottle store, a tavern. So from a young age, I could see how my dad operates the business and stuff like that. So that really assisted me, just having that business background. It assisted me in how I should also be able to run my business.
I think we sometimes call it the kasi economy. And we take for granted just how much you can learn about entrepreneurship in, you know, running a tuck shop. You know, I remember when I was very little, I can remember I used to sell sweets, right? So I got a 10 rand somewhere. I bought a packet of sweets and I would sell sweets for 20 cents, right? And the simple reason why I stopped is because my aunt kept on stealing my 2 rands. So I gave up on that business, you know. But I mean, I started with, you know, network marketing, and you don't really realize in the moment how all of that experience builds up to one day when you have a company that's registered. All those little things that you've done, the way that you service your clients, it all builds up into, you know, making your skill set, building up your skill set to becoming the business person that you want. So what advice would you give, you know, your young designers or even your young entrepreneurs who are sitting at home at the moment, not sure where to start? What advice would you give them?
One advice I would give them is be very certain about the business that you want to go into. If you are, of course, we want to make money at the end of the day, but make sure that whatever business that you're going to, it's something that you're also very passionate about, so that on those rainy days, your passion for what you're doing can still motivate you. Because if you're going to go into business and your main focus is just about the money, then it's going to be very easy for you to give up along the way. Because like I said, business, it has its rainy days, it has its good days. It's a seasonal thing. So if you are doing something that you're really passionate about, you are going to, when you are having those rainy days, then you are going to that's where your passion is going to kick in to drive you, and you're going to find other ways, not moving away from the business that you're doing, that you can still sort of make money. I will make an example with during COVID. During COVID, people weren't going anywhere, doing any events. There was nothing happening. So literally business was on a standstill. I had to now sit down and think to myself, okay, bills still need to be paid and stuff. How can I now, like, okay, maybe I can make masks, can make creative masks, make nice masks, you know, that people can buy, stuff like that. So, like I said, always make sure that whatever business that you're venturing into, it's something that is close to your heart and something that you are really passionate about, so that you can, no matter what, you are able to withstand those difficult clients, those rainy months, you are still
Yes, and
able
also to
to,
be adaptable, like you said, so that
yeah.
when something like COVID happens, God forbid, we'd never want that again.
Yo, no,
That you can adapt
yeah,
to the environment and you can adapt to the circumstances that you're
yeah,
faced with.
yeah.
So we know also that the fashion industry is increasingly leaning towards sustainability, right? So how do you incorporate sustainability and sustainable fashion into your brand?
Sustainability in what sense?
In like fast fashion is a thing, but also with global warming being a thing, we don't want clothing, people to keep on buying clothing. So maybe in the materials that you use, or how do you see, just sustainable in terms of the way people purchase and consume fashion?
Like I said, for me, it's a thing of I want to move into more of a ready to wear
Yes, yes.
kind of where people are able to easily access my clothes,
Yeah.
so that I'm still able to sustain my business. People are just, yeah, I think for me, it's just moving more into the ready to
Ready
wear.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how many, sorry, let me just read these questions. Okay, I already asked those. Are there any resources such as books, mentors, or even experiences that have particularly benefited you in your business?
In terms of mentors, I think it's just me looking up to fashion designers that have really made it in the industry, and they would just listening to their stories as to how they started.
Yeah.
It really motivated me also in the way I have structured and grown my business. In terms of books, I don't want to lie, I'm not much of a
Not much of a
I'm
reader.
more of a creative. I'm not much of
Yes,
a
yes.
reader. So in terms of books, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
But
so
mentors, it's
yeah,
definitely just people that have been in the industry for quite a while,
yeah.
just how
And
they
obviously,
operating their
the
businesses.
experiences that you've gained from
Yeah,
going to various
yeah.
fashion shows have
And
also
just like
influenced
you
you.
said, going to the especially traveling abroad and
True.
just getting to sit down with other fashion designers and sharing the challenges that you get to see that, you know what, I thought I'm the only one
Yeah,
experiencing this within my business, but you get to see that other people are also experiencing the same
yeah,
struggles that you are experiencing within your business, and just exchanging ideas. And like whenever I go to fashion shows, I always come back so much more motivated
yeah,
because of I got the opportunity to sit down with other creatives, and we got to share ideas and
yeah,
share how we can do better and
yeah.
improve our businesses.
So, speaking about other fashion designers, what would you say are some of the most important qualities of a good fashion designer?
I think number one is you have to listen to your client.
True.
Always listen to your client, and of course, give advice where you can. When it comes to like our body structures, we build differently, and
True.
some people will come to you with a picture and I want this, and but you can really see that I don't think this is gonna suit your physique or anything like that. So in a very nice way, without offending your client, you need to
Yeah.
be able to advise your client that I don't think this will work for you. How about we try this? you know
Yeah, true.
yeah, it assists that also assists a lot. And then, like I said, not boxing yourself, being versatile, being able to move with the times, it also helps you to become a great fashion designer, because now you're not stagnant on, no, I only design traditional wear, I don't do this, I don't. Because with me, I design from traditional wear, evening wear, casual,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. So you shouldn't box yourself. You shouldn't box yourself, and always be willing to learn. Like since 2011 until now, I still every day I learn something new.
Yes.
I learn something new. So you should never get to a point where you feel like, no, I've been in the industry for so long, I know everything. I'm not gonna. You
Yeah.
can learn something from someone
From
who literally
anyone.
just started in the industry. So you should always be willing to learn.
So thank you so much for that. I think it's some very valuable points that you have shared with us. So for our listeners, where can they get in touch with you if they want some of your beautiful creations or if they want to contact you?
All right. So for the listeners, I am available on Facebook and Instagram. My social media pages is GNY Creations. And then right now, it's been 2 months now, because in the past I was working from home.
Yeah.
Where we're staying. So I've opened up a studio. I'm at
Congratulations.
I'm at the High School Arcade. It's in the old De Beers Road.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
see where your fashion world is, where the old Standard Bank used to
Yes,
be?
yes, I see
In
that.
that line, there's an arcade.
Okay,
Yeah, there's an
sure.
arcade in there. And then otherwise, they can also reach me on my numbers. Am I allowed to call
Yeah,
out my number?
you can. We can even put it in the caption.
So my number is 0733 455 472. That's where my clients can also reach me. They can either call me or send me a WhatsApp text and then set an appointment.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Nkosinathi,
Thank you for
being on
having
the
me.
couch with me today. I am sure our listeners got some very valuable tips on how they can get into the fashion industry and into business as well. So thank you to our listeners. Remember to like, comment, and share this video with people that you think it could be of value to. So from me, Callie, thank you very much for watching this episode of The Theatre.